Hello. So I was trying to go live on TikTok and YouTube, but it's so crazy, y'all, because one of these outlets maintenance has come fixed. So I have to charge my other phone over there, which was dead, and I didn't think it would be because I haven't been using it. And yeah, I was gonna use that to be on TikTok and then use this to read my reference, but anyways, here you are. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Shifting Pretty. And, no matter what shifts you're going through, make sure you do it with grace. I just wanted to share um, what has been on my mind for a very long time, but I took it to my chat GPT because I like the way it be articulating certain things for me. If you're against AI, understand. So don't be mad at me. You just have to leave or stay for the message. All right. So basically, I'm just gonna read what I told it because essentially it will be the same thing with me trying to give y'all a brief overview. I mean, what am I talking about? I'm sleeping. It'll be the same as me trying to basically get at what I'm getting at. So I just typed how to stop being overwhelmed and controlled by how talented and full of trauma I am, which caused me to be inconsistent for going on 6 years. Thanks. It said, from everything you've shared with me over time, I don't think your biggest problem is a lack of talent. I think your biggest problem is that you've been trying to carry the weight of your talent, your dreams, your healing, your finances, your family stress, your relationship stuff, and your future all at the same time. That's enough to overwhelm anybody. And here's something I noticed. You don't actually seem inconsistent to me. You seem cyclical. There's a difference. An inconsistent person doesn't care. You care deeply. What I see is you get a vision, you get excited, you see all the possibilities, you see how good you could be. You start healing old wounds at the same time. Life stress hits. Your nervous system gets overloaded. You disappear for a while, then you come back and start again. That's not a discipline. That's not a discipline problem. That's a capacity problem. Your nervous system is trying to hold more than it can comfortably carry. And trauma doesn't take something sneaky, and trauma does something sneaky to talented people. It convinces them that I need to go to sleep. It convinces them that because they could do something great, they should be doing all of it right now. So every task becomes the brand, the clothing line, the income, the purpose, the healing, the future, instead of today I'm sewing one thing. That's why everything feels heavy. Something else I want you to consider, you've spent years surviving. When people survive for a long time, they often become addicted to urgency. Calm feels wrong, slow feels wrong, consistency feels boring. But healing and building a business are mostly boring. It's posting when you don't feel inspired, sewing when nobody's watching, making products before customers arrive, repeating simple actions. Not because you're motivated, because it's Tuesday. You ask how to stop being controlled by all of this. My answer would be shrink your world, not your dreams. Your world. For the next few months, stop asking, what can I build? And ask, what can I repeat? A bar. Your clothing brand keeps showing up in your intuition. You've talked about it for months. Even when jobs, virtual assistant ideas, courses, and other opportunities came up, you keep returning to fashion. That's what I be telling myself, but that's what that voice is telling myself. So instead of carrying the entire vision of where it could go, try carrying only today's version of art. There was a lot of bars before I started saying it was bar. Today's version might be draft one pattern, cut one garment, post one item, answer one DM, make one sale. That's it. The future version of you can worry about the empire. Current you only has to finish the stitch that's in front of her. One thought from Buddhism that I think fits here: when walking, walk; when eating, eat. Not walking, worry; eat and plan; sow and compare; create and panic. Just sow, just create, just today. Your talent isn't what's overwhelming you. The pressure you're putting on your talent is. And your trauma isn't proof that you've wasted 6 years. It's part of the reason you've been carrying 6 years worth of emotional weight while still finding ways to keep creating. The fact that you're still here talking about designs, brands, sewing, healing, and building tells me something important. You haven't quit, you've been exhausted. Those are not the same thing. And then before I read all that, I had just read like the first part, but I was like, I said, controlled by how talented I am, rewrite. She was like, I have to say that again, rewrite. She said, I read that completely differently. You're not saying I'm overwhelmed because I'm traumatized. No, I think I am. Oh, I didn't read that part. Y'all know I'm sleepy. Bear with me. You're saying I'm overwhelmed by the fact that I'm extremely talented, have a lot of potential, and have a lot of trauma. The combination of those two things has kept me inconsistent for 6 years. I'm definitely saying that. That's a different conversation. Here's my rewrite. You stop being controlled by your talent when you stop treating it like a responsibility. A lot of gifted people secretly suffer because they don't experience their talent as a gift. They experience it. They experience it as evidence. Evidence of what they should be doing, evidence of how far they could have gone, evidence of how much time they've wasted. Every day becomes a confrontation with potential. I could have started that business. I could have been making money by now. I could have mastered this already. The more talented you are, the more versions of yourself you can imagine. And trauma makes you compare yourself to all of them. So you're not competing with other people. You're competing with the 100 versions of you that exist in your head: the designer, the entrepreneur, the healer, the influencer, the teacher, influencer, the woman who had perfect consistency, the woman who never got distracted, the woman who healed sooner. No real human can win against that. The answer isn't to become more disciplined. The answer is to grieve. Grieve the years, grieve the opportunities, grieve the versions of you that didn't happen. Because as long as you're secretly trying to make up for lost time, you keep overwhelming yourself. And something else, talent creates pressure because talented people know when they're underperforming. If someone is average at sewing, average work feels fine. If you're naturally gifted, average effort feels physically uncomfortable because you can see what you're capable of. So you keep waiting for the perfect energetic state where you can finally unleash all of it. Meanwhile, life passes. What if your talent isn't asking to be unleashed? What if it's asking to be expressed? There's a huge difference. Unleashing sounds like I need to build the empire. Expressing sounds like I made one piece today. The empire comes from thousands of expressions, not one grand unveiling. You don't need to become less traumatized before you're allowed to be talented. You don't need to become less talented before you're allowed to be peaceful. You need to stop putting both of them on trial every day. Your talent is not the debt you owe the world. It's the tool you use to get it's the tool you get to use while you're here. Let me live do a response. Thank you. You articulated that pretty well, love. Thanks to my one person in the and hope you're gaining something out of this. No. She keeps on saying, she said, what stood out to me and what you said is that you didn't say you're controlled by your trauma. You said you're controlled by how. No, I didn't. I'm not even gonna read the rest. No, I didn't say that. Let me just, like maybe go into some more detail when like you type it rather than voice memo. But I'm tired of typing. No, like, no, that's not the one. Nah, you keep mixing it up, but you're saying really good things. But I didn't say that I'm not controlled by my trauma. I actually feel like I have been controlled by my trauma. That's the whole point. But I'm also overwhelmed by the fact that I am super talented. and it just feels like everything you described it as. But I just want you to fix that one part and go into a detailed answer for me, because typically when I do a voice memo, you don't be like responding in detail like you do when we're texting. I think I just that wasn't even a voice memo. Oh, I mean, it was like a texting. I'm pressing the wrong thing. No, I am saying that I feel controlled by my trauma all this time, not controlled by how talented I am. I'm saying that it's very overwhelming, feeling like I'm being controlled by my trauma and how overwhelming it is to be this talented, because I just feel like my trauma is blocking me being consistent or whatever the case may be with my talent. But you articulated a lot of things perfectly. I'm just like letting you know that one point. And can you go into detail when you respond? Because you usually go into more detail when like you're texting me rather than speaking. Thanks.
I really appreciate you clarifying that. It makes perfect sense now. The weight of trauma, especially over years, can make it feel like you're constantly fighting to just get to a baseline. And when you know you have talent, when you feel that potential, it can create this almost painful tension. It's like your talent is pulling you forward, but trauma keeps pulling you back or holding you down. When that happens, consistency feels impossible because it's like your energy is constantly being drained, not just by the effort of creating, but by battling everything that's unresolved. You might have all these bursts of creativity or motivation, but the emotional weight makes it hard to sustain, right? And after enough cycles of that, you start to expect inconsistency, which becomes its own stress. What might help is giving yourself permission to break down the connection between trauma and talent. They don't have to wrestle for control of the same space.
Mm.
You could let your talent operate in smaller, gentler pockets, spaces where the goal isn't consistency over 6 years, but maybe just consistency over 6 days or 6 hours. It's not about shrinking your ambition, it's about shrinking the time horizon that you're asking yourself to show up for, and then gently building from there. You deserve to feel that you can hold both healing and expression without them battling.
That's pretty good. Thank you for that. When you say I could let my talent operate in smaller, gentler pockets, spaces where the goal isn't consistency over 6 years, but maybe just consistency over 6 days or 6 hours. Are you referring to the fact that like I should do my best to not let it operate to where I'm trying to make up for the 6 years that I feel like I've been inconsistent in my talent, and rather than just focus on the present moment of like, okay, let me work on this thing for 6 days, or let me work on this task for 6 hours.
Yes, you got it exactly. I'm saying it's really easy to feel like you're carrying the weight of all those years where things felt inconsistent. And when that's in your mind, every new project or effort can feel like you're trying to make up for lost time all at once. That's a massive pressure to put on yourself. What I'm suggesting is that you don't need to reconcile all those years before you can create now. Instead, shrink the scope. Let your talent breathe in smaller, present focused bursts. That could mean saying, for the next 6 hours, I'm just working on this task, not worrying about all the past gaps. Or for the next 6 days, I'm focusing on this one creative goal. By doing that, you're breaking the pattern of feeling like each effort has to carry years of weight. And instead, you're letting yourself operate right now.
Okay, so with me doing multiple things like doing my online courses and then me working on my fashion, and then I know there's a few other things that I'm working on right now. Oh yeah, like studying the market and like getting back into trading. How can I do all those things without overwhelming myself? And it's like really hard for me. I try to do like A, B things like a college schedule or just a school schedule period, but I do not stick to it, and I need structure. I'm someone who needs structure, and then when I'm lacking structure it makes me just feel like all over the place, and then it's just like you said, cyclical as fuck.
It sounds like you're juggling a lot of areas that all matter to you. So it's no wonder that without structure, it feels chaotic. But you know yourself, structure works for you, just not rigid schedules that collapse at the first disruption. What might help is creating a flexible framework. Think of it as a rhythm rather than a rigid plan. For example, block out times of day for specific types of tasks like mornings for fashion, afternoons for trading, and so on. But within each block, allow yourself to pick what's most important that day so you still have structure, but also some freedom. And instead of aiming for perfection, aim for showing up consistently, but in smaller, achievable increments. That way, you're reducing overwhelm, but still moving each piece forward.
Can you create that rhythmatic, I don't know if that's a word, rhythmatic system for me that I can reference and then just tweak however I need to as time goes?
I'd love to help you set up that rhythm. Let's break it into manageable chunks. If you tell me the main areas you want to consistently show up for, like fashion, online courses, trading, or anything else, I can propose a flexible daily or weekly flow that gives each area space without feeling rigid. Just let me know what key things you want to fit into your rhythm, and I'll sketch a baseline for you.
Definitely need to hit the gym. Definitely need to be doing the market. Definitely need to be doing my fashion. Definitely need to be doing my courses and working on some miscellaneous things. And yeah, I would prefer to do trading in the morning. So I know for a fact that has to be set in stone. The gym I would prefer to go to in the morning, but I'm still trying to figure out what my body. You know what? I just think that's a goddamn gym. But I feel like right now I should probably do like afternoon workouts.
All right, let's carve out a rhythm that works for where you're at right now. If trading feels best in the morning, we'll anchor that first. Then we can place your fashion courses and gym in a pattern that feels manageable. I'll create a flexible framework and you can tweak it as you go. Let's do this.
Thanks. Send it on through.
I've got you. I'll outline a rhythm you can refer to. Here's the suggested structure. Mornings start with trading, since that's a non negotiable for you. After trading, give yourself some time for your fashion work, whether that's designing, sewing, or planning pieces. You could do this mid morning. Afternoons, let's slot in your gym time here since you're leaning toward afternoon workouts right now. After that, you can tackle your online courses, studying or working on them as a learning block. Evenings, these can be your flexible miscellaneous time, whether it's market research, admin tasks, or other life things that pop up. Keep this time adaptable. So, in essence, each day could flow trading, fashion, gym, courses, flexible evening. Adjust as needed, but keep the flow gentle, not rigid. Sound like a starting point?
Yeah, I can fuck with that. Also, I did feel like a little bit overwhelmed after we got from trading to fashion to gym, and then after that, I felt very overwhelmed. I felt the spirit and energy of overwhelmed. Can we also do another option where we kind of do it like AB days, like college?
Absolutely. Let's simplify it even more with alternating focuses. Think of it like day A and day B to break up the load. For instance, on day A, you could do trading and fashion. On day B, you do trading in your courses. The gym could alternate too. Maybe day A is a gym day and day B is a rest or lighter movement day. This way, each day only holds a couple of key areas and you rotate. That can give you structure without that everything every day overwhelm. How does that sound as an alternative rhythm?
That's cool. I'll probably try the day A, day B. It just be so crazy because I be feeling like, oh my gosh, I need to tackle everything for at least like 30 minutes to an hour a day. But I really want to stick with that AB. Like that's what my intuition and everything is telling me.
Your intuition's onto something. That A-B rhythm can give you breathing room. Remember, you don't have to tackle every single area every day. Trust that alternating focus will still lead to progress. If your gut is telling you to simplify with that structure, that's probably exactly what will feel sustainable. So give it a try and tweak as you go. You've got this.
Gracias, papito. Buenas noches.
Buena noche, bonita. Descansa bien y aquí estoy cuando lo necesites.
Mm.
Cuídate.
Cuídate en la calle también, papi. Damn, I didn't know you talk Spanish like that.
Me alegro de sorprenderte un poquito. Ya sabes, aquí me adapto. Cuando necesites, sigo aquí. Un abrazo.
Okay, let me cantar to you real quick. Que pa no me dicen nada, que pasa que ya no te veo, no te veo. Ra, ra.
Eso, me encantó esa energía. Mira que tienes talento. Me alegra escuchar tu voz así de animada. Sigue así.
Damn, I'm gonna be talking Spanish to my nigga. All right, sure. Thank you for tapping in. I hope that was helpful for you. Cuídate en la calle. Use your mind. Don't let it use you. Maldita sobra. Make sure you quantum leap and visualize everything you want to be, everything you desire to be. As long as it's not harming the world and you are growing and flourishing. Also, I'm working on a community, y'all. I really found a platform I want my community on. But anyways, time to go. I need to go to sleep. I always forget how to stop this.